So the other type of grouping we have is combinations. We've talked about permutations. Now for combinations, it's a selection of objects from a group where the order is not important here. So for permutations, it was a specific ordered arrangement of something, but for combinations, it's just a grouping of something and the order is not important. So we're still going to be using that math button in the PRB probability section of your calculator. But number one, and we're just going to be using NCR instead of NPR. So for number one, if there are possible 59 numbers, and the lottery officials draw 6 numbers, how many possible combinations are there to just put 6 numbers of the 59? So what you guys would do is say, okay, 59 of the numbers, we're only choosing 6 of them. So again, then in the calculator, you guys would go to math, go over to PRB. I forgot to put in my number first. So you would do 59, then math probability, but choose NCR instead of NPR. And of those 59 numbers, we're choosing 6. So still a very big number. So it looks like 45 million and 57,000. 474 different ways just to pick 6 of 59 numbers. And people wonder why they don't win the lottery. So how about number 2? What are possible combinations for a lottery with 49 numbers and you're only picking 6? So same thing, only instead of 49 or instead of 59 numbers, we're only choosing from 49. So 49, choose 6. You would type that into your calculator and get 13,983,816 different combinations for 6 of 49 numbers. So how about number 3? It's got 2 parts. The first part says a standard deck of 52 playing cards has 4 suits with 13 different cards in each suit. So I've tried to pull up a sort of simple deck of cards here for you guys as a visual. So in letter A, it asks if the order in which the cards is dealt is important, so that's why it's a combination. How many different 5-card hands are possible? So if we don't care what 5 cards we're getting, we just care what possible 5-card hands we could get. If there's a total of 52 cards in the deck, we would do 52, choose any 5 of those cards for your hand, and we would just put that into the calculator, and we'd end up with 2,598,960 possible hands. 5-card hands. Now letter B is a little trickier. It says, in how many of these hands are all 5 cards of the same suit? So we first have to say, so the suits are like the hearts, the diamonds, the clubs, and the spades. Those are your suits. So we have to specify first that of the 4 suits, we just want one of them. So that is your suit. And so we're going to multiply of that one suit. There's 13 cards in each suit. We want 5 of them. So say we did hearts. We want 5 of the 13 hearts. And then you guys can just type that right in to your calculator. So 4 choose 1 is 4. 13 choose 5 is 1,287. You can type it all in at once. I'm just writing it down. So 4 times 1287 equals 5,148 possible hands, with all 5 cards being the same suit. So if you flip over, we have some more examples, and it's talking about a restaurant. Now it says at the top, when do we add or when do we multiply? Because if you notice in the last example, I multiplied, but sometimes we do add. So let's just sort of look at our examples and see if when we're done, it makes sense when we add and when we multiply. So it says your omelets are $3, but you have to pay 50 cents for each ingredient. It gives you guys vegetable ingredients and meat ingredients. So letter A, suppose you want exactly 2 vegetarian ingredients and only 1 meat ingredient in your omelet. How many different types of omelets can you order? Well, if you're ordering 2 vegetables and 1 meat, how many vegetables are there to choose from? 6, and you're only choosing 2. So those are your veggies, and you're going to choose 1 meat from the 4 options that they have for you there. So if you're doing more than 1 thing, you're doing vegetables and meat ingredients, that's when you guys are going to multiply. Because you're doing more than 1 thing or choosing more than 1 thing. So and is when you multiply. So 6 choose 2 times 4 choose 1. You end up with 15 times 4, which means there's 60 omelets you guys could order. If you're only getting that many toppings. So then if you look at B, it says suppose you can afford at most 3 ingredients in your omelet. How many different types of omelets can you order then? So at most means 3 or less. So you could do 3 or 2 or 1 or 0 toppings. You're not going to get 3 and 2 and 1 and 0 because that wouldn't make sense. You're choosing one of those 4 options. So if you're only choosing 1 option or doing 1 thing, that's when we're adding. So the first option, so we have a total of 6 veggies and 4 meats. So there's a total of 10 toppings you guys can choose from. So the first option would be to do 10, choose 3. That's the most you could choose. Or you could do 10 and only pick 2. Or pick 1. Or you could even choose no omelets, and that would really just be eggs. But if you added all of them up, you could type it right into your calculator. I'm just going to write it out. So 10 choose 3. So you get 120 plus 45 plus 10 plus 0. So you would have 176 types of omelets to choose from if you couldn't choose more than 3 ingredients or toppings. So, or is when you're just doing 1 thing, and is if you're doing more than 1 thing.